Read my lips. Stop trying to be the bigger person all the time.
So you suffer from low self-esteem, evaluation of inserting yourself in other people's business, excessively inserting yourself in other people's business. Could you be a people pleaser? Sociotropy is characterized as an excessive investment in interpersonal relationships. The excessive need to want to be nice to people and want to help people can be considered as an act of sociotropy. Are you suffering from one of these? Because low self esteem has been one of the telling characteristics of someone who is a people pleaser, wanting to please everybody, wanting to be the nicest person in the room, and wanting to be a bigger person. So let's dive deeper into this topic in the next clips.
I am Oluwato Great and welcome to this channel. I primarily talk about fitness and fashion, but today I'd like to bring back a segment on my channel. I have a playlist on it. It's called Great Talks. I'll link it down below in the description box. So in today's video, I just want to talk about people pleasing, and as a recovering people pleaser and someone who's learning to set boundaries, I think this is such an important topic to speak about because it's actually widespread. And if you don't look within and put yourself and be aware in situations where you are actually people pleasing, you won't even be aware that you're doing it. I think it should be considered a pandemic, the fact that there's a lot of people who people please and don't even know it. At that time you think, oh, I'm just being nice, I'm a nice person, you know, but in actual fact you're actually excessively putting yourself in other people's business, and you was not supposed to be doing it in the first place. People pleasing can be such a chronic thing in the fact that you tend to even put yourself in situations that you don't feel comfortable about. I mean, you don't set boundaries, you say yes to things that you really want to say no to. And I'll give you an example. As a recovering people pleaser, I would literally take my time to try and please other people, friends, families, co-workers, and it literally would get you nowhere, because that time you think you're being nice, like I said, but you're actually doing yourself more harm than good. So let's say that there's a project that people need help with at work, right? You've already clocked in when you were supposed to clock in, and when it's time for you to clock out, it's time for you to clock out. During the day, you've already put in so much work, so much effort into your work, you've done your work diligently. But then this project that they have as a team, they need extra hand. Look, you can go ahead and help them as a good person, as a nice person, or good folks, whatever. But then you've already set another commitment at home to probably be the one to make dinner at home that night for your family. But then because you want to sacrifice being responsible for being a nice person to people at work, probably because it will get you extra brownie points, which are not always the case, you say yes to the project. Like, that's a form of people pleasing, and it's such a sin to yourself, to your soul, because you know deep down that this is not making you happy. Inside you're screaming, you're tearing your hair out, but because you have to please your boss, or you have to please your co-workers or your friend or family even, you go out of your way to excessively insert yourself in their lives. And this doesn't mean that they're going to reward you back. They are probably doing it out of being selfish as well. So let's talk about the signs of people pleasing, because like I said, you might be people pleasing and you might not even know that you're doing that to yourself and to your soul. Stop saying yes to things that you don't want to do, especially if you know deep down it's blocking you from what you really actually want to do. Look, when you start setting boundaries, you're going to make a lot of enemies, because you were always this person who was always showing up for everyone, inserting yourself into their lives, showing up early, standing in for them, doing extra time for them. There's nothing wrong with setting healthy boundaries, but the first thing you need to do is to be aware and accept and be accountable for yourself, to say, look, I'm a people pleaser and I'm willing to heal, I'm willing to move forward, I'm willing to make my soul happy. So number one, you want to say no to things that just don't feel comfortable. You don't have to always be there for everyone. For example, if you set a boundary to say at 10 p.m. I'm no longer answering calls, or the moment I clock off I'm no longer answering calls from work unless it's a matter of urgency and it's not going to disturb my well-being or where I need to do all the other commitments I've already made with others. So number one is learn to set healthy boundaries. Number two that I actually already touched on is taking blames. I'm going to use an example of corporate world as well. Look, let's say there's a project going on and you know, again, diligently inside of you, you've already done your part, you were on time, and you know you did your part, and your part is 100%, or at least on the way to being 100%. And there's someone who's not putting in their work, or the manager is not putting in any input or being involved. But because you want to keep the peace and make everybody else happy, you decide to take the blame for the project. No, ma'am, we are not doing that. It's almost 2023. It's almost 2023. Respect yourself. Have some self-respect to say, look, this is what I've done for the project. This is what I've contributed for the event. Anybody else that's not bringing in some accountability, let it be. But you know within yourself that you're not going to take blames for something that went wrong. Just stop doing that to yourself. Love yourself. A little self-help, a little self-love would go an extra mile. The other thing that I like to talk about is repressing your emotions to please others. It is so sad because, for example, I would know that this person at work, this used to happen to me a lot at work. That's why I'm using work as an example most of the time. Just because they are your manager, or because you know they are your co-workers and you're trying to keep the peace, you repress your emotions, you repress what you were supposed to say, you basically bite your tongue. There's a way to put people in places professionally. There's a way to put people in places respectfully, just to let them know where they had you fucked up. I'm kidding. Just to let them know that what they did, this is what they have done, and this is how you'd like to be spoken to moving forward. If they didn't want no smoke, they shouldn't have come to you or for you in the first place. So that's that on that. And then I think the last one that I'd like to touch on is stop trying to be the bigger person. Read my lips. Stop trying to be the bigger person all the time. I'm just gonna breathe. Always having to be the bigger person, especially when you're dealing with people that are actually older than you, doesn't serve your soul. As much as we are on earth to multiply and conquer, you need to think about your soul, because your soul mission is more important than anything else, believe you me. Especially when you start doing your soul work, your shadow works inside of you, you will realize that your soul needs you to be true to who you are and to respect your soul. Your soul mission is more important than pleasing anybody else on earth. Trust me. So there are times when you don't have to always be the bigger person. Just learn to speak your truth. You don't always have to be the nicest person in the room, because trust me, being a good person trumps being a nice person. Because when you're a good person, you know you are doing the good that you're supposed to do, and doing good does have limits, because you don't want to be overstepping on other people's karma also. So yeah, I'm just here to help you know that people pleasing is such a chronic syndrome that you don't have to always excessively insert yourself in other people. Find joy in respecting yourself. Find joy in speaking positivity into yourself. Set healthy boundaries and let it be known. They will definitely try to, cross those boundaries and make it seem like, oh,
she got an attitude about her now. She used to be nice.
Oh well, exactly. I was nice with everybody else but me. And if you actually say you love me as a friend, you love me as a family, and you accept me and you respect me as a co-worker, then you respect those boundaries. So that's where I like to leave it for today. Thank you so much for coming to this channel and clicking on this video. Do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with someone who you think it might be helpful for. Do not forget to comment and tell me and let me know about your experiences and how you're healing from being a people pleaser. And I think that should be a follow-up video onto how I am personally healing myself and being aware of where people
got me fucked up,
so that I can be better for myself and for my soul mission here on earth. So thank you so much once again for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.